Alright, so we are going to talk about chemical formulas. So the reason it's important to have an understanding about chemical formulas is that we encounter these all the time in chemistry, and it's pretty much our language and how we communicate. So let's just kind of jump right in with an example. So if we have CH4, CH4 happens to be methane, but right out of the chemical formula, we write CH4. So when we see this, what is this telling us? So first of all, we look right here, we see the letter C, and there's only one of them. And so what that tells us is that we have one C, and then if we look on the periodic table, C is the symbol for carbon. So C, one carbon atom. Next to that, we have H. And if we look on the periodic table, we will see that H is the formula, H is the symbol for hydrogen. So we've got C, carbon, H, hydrogen. Then we have this number 4 here. And so this 4, which is kind of down, bottom right of the H, what this 4 tells us is that we have 4 of those H's. This number tells us how many of whatever is kind of up and to the left that we have. So in this case, 4 H's. So when we look at CH4, we know that we have one carbon and 4 hydrogen. Alright, so let's look at another example real quick. Say carbon dioxide, CO2. Same thing, we take a look here, we've got a C all by itself, so that means carbon. And there's only one of them. O, we look up that symbol, and O is oxygen. And just like last time, we've got a number here. This 2 tells us how many oxygens we have. So carbon dioxide, CO2, is 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. So the third type, kind of the third way that we might, or the second main way that we might see things written are with parentheses. And an example of this would be calcium hydroxide. So calcium hydroxide, we write CaOH2. But we notice that the O and the H are inside of a parentheses with the 2 on the outside. So what does that mean? Well, we take our first step, we look at Ca, symbol for calcium. And we look and see how many? Well, there's just one. So there's only one there. So then we look over here, we've got O's and H's. We know that O equals oxygen, and H equals hydrogen. So inside that parentheses, we have oxygen and hydrogen. But we have this number 2 on the outside of the parentheses. So what does that mean? That means that everything inside the parentheses gets multiplied by that number. So that means we have 2 of these and 2 of these. So if we write calcium hydroxide, what we have is 1 calcium, 2 oxygen, and 2 hydrogen. Give us calcium hydroxide.